In this last video, we will look at mechanisms for evolution, the second part, and we'll look at genetic drift, the founder effect, and the bottleneck effect. Okay, so genetic drift is basically a term to look at how the frequency of alleles change due to chances that are not just selection pressures. Okay, we've talked about selection pressures before, and sometimes the frequency can change based on other changes. It's important for populations that are small because in large populations, the frequency of alleles tend to remain pretty stable. Okay, we can pause the video and can look at this information. Okay, so in a small population, random mating or the death of one or two individuals can have a big effect, as we said before. So in small populations, if we have these organisms here and these two black ones, for example, died, something happened to them, we don't have them in the population anymore. We only have these orange ones. Okay, if you can think, for example, if you had a large population with, 50 black organisms and 70 yellow ones, okay, there is going to be less of a chance that they are destroyed. Therefore, the ending population will have more of those black alleles. Okay, so the second thing is the founder effect. Now, the founder effect usually occurs when a small number of individuals immigrate from a population or geographically isolated. Now, this is what I was talking about before with the offshore island and the mainland. So we can see here we've got a variety of butterflies on this island here, which is the ancestral population. And if we have immigration, we have a few of those butterflies leave. Now we have colonization with only two different types of butterflies. And we can see that this is not representative of the original population because we do not have the white butterfly. We only have these colors. So feel free to pause and read through those notes. Okay, so the founder effect, just in a different representation. So we've got 20 blue, 10 red. Okay, say for example they immigrate. Now we've got more red now than we do blue, so therefore it's not representative of the original population. Okay, so the last part is the bottleneck effect. Now the bottleneck effect is a sharp reduction in the size of the population. Now this is caused by things like earthquakes, floods, fires, diseases, and droughts, or even human activities like genocide. Okay, so new populations are very unlikely to be representative. The frequency of alleles is not representative or not the same as the original population. Increased interbreeding may also occur as the survivors are forced to mate with close relatives. Because there's no longer diversity anymore, sometimes breeding has to take place with close relatives. Okay, if the reduced population increases again to its original size, the genetic diversity may be reduced because of this mating. Okay, so feel free to pause the video because it talks about some examples here and what's happening in particular. Now, a really good picture to explain this is actually with a bottle. Now, for example, we have a big mix of these colored marbles, and this is our original population. After a flood, volcanic eruption, or landslide, for example, some of these survive. Okay, some of these organisms survive. Therefore, we have our new surviving population. The rest of them, unfortunately, are all dead. Okay, so they can't pass on their alleles to the next generation because they're not alive. The surviving population can. They can reproduce, produce more organisms. Therefore, the gene pool is going to have less variation. For example, this may become extinct, the yellow one. Okay, so that is the end of the video. We've talked about mechanisms for evolution.